Hey, today we're going to solve some tactics problems, and I actually have a little bit of a time crunch on the back end, so I'm actually going to put a timer on. And actually, I think this is good for training sometimes. When I do solve endgame studies, I do enjoy taking as long as I need to get the answer myself, because when I look up that answer, it's much less satisfying if I haven't tried to solve it or come up with something that I think is correct. But sometimes, as we play chess, we have a clock that we play with, so it's good to sometimes put a little pressure on ourselves. However, this shouldn't be too bad. Chess.com, I'm going to do 5 problems in 30 minutes or less. So that's an average of 6 minutes per problem. So hopefully I take a little less time than that. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start my clock here, and we're going to get started. And of course, I'm going to try to explain my thoughts along the way, and hopefully come up with some good uh, solutions. Okay, so white to play here, and we are down material. It looks like. Uh, It seems like um, we're down a rook for a couple pawns, maybe, but that probably isn't enough. So, in these types of positions, are we trying for a draw or are we trying for a win? Um, I do see, of course, something like this doesn't work in this situation because the well, actually, well, I was going to say if I play rook to d5 or e5 first, then he takes and then I can win the queen back, but he's still a rook down. However, because this king is stalemated, I play knight to f7 check first, forced to take with the queen, which opens up this diagonal, which should allow me to check him. Then after queen to g7, queen takes g7, check is mate. So that is our solution. Go ahead and play it. And that was a slightly easier problem, but it's a good way to start. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so white to play again. Now we are actually up a piece, looks like. And how can we um, take advantage of that? If there is a way to take advantage. One of the things I'm seeing, this queen is running out of room a little bit, and I'm wondering if we can trap it somehow. Oh, I was thinking something like f5, but then black gets this check in, which maybe is okay, but could also be annoying. Also thinking, what about g5 here? And if queen goes back, of course, queen can escape to the queen side as well, but if queen were to go back, do we have anything in terms of this discovery? That's another idea. Always try to look for the forcing moves first, because that can often be profitable. So another idea I have is you have this f5 idea, but after bishop to 5 check, just play king to h1, but I don't know if I have a proper follow up here, because now my king's getting a little hairy here because now I can't play g4, for example. I was looking at e5 also, and after he takes e5, f takes e5, now this diagonal is open, but he gets this check in here. Quite sure about that. And then what about knight to f3? Knight to f3, covering this square. Then maybe I can play this d5. Um, maybe I'm trapping not just the queen, but maybe the bishop. So knight to f. The problem with knight to f3, it's not super forcing. Knight to f3, and then what can he play? So then the threat is g4. Then queen to h6. Oh, actually, I think that might fall upon it. So not knight to f3, but g4 right away. Then if queen to h4, knight to f3 is going to force the queen back, and then g5 is going to fork these two squares. So I think it's g4. And if queen to h6 right away, then we have g5 with the fork. Okay? Well, let me just check that before we do anything. Um, g4, well, yeah, g4 because any like this capture, knight takes d. The queen's threatened first, so he has to move. Oh, that is incorrect. Let's see here. Maybe knight to f3 was the first move. Oh, taking here first. Then the idea is that we are going to fork that way. But on that one, let's just go back here. Um, after I take, and then after g4, can't he just play queen here? And maybe the idea at that point, oh, well, maybe the idea at that point is then I just play the bishop here. Then I can fork. I guess I should have taken here first. But okay, well let's keep going here. Let's solve this. Okay, so wasn't too happy about that. My rating went below 2,500 for the first time in a while, but that's okay. Uh, let's keep moving. Okay, here we're down 2 pieces, but have a lot of options here. Now, I think it's important here to understand that it's good to count the material because here I might think, well, I've got this fork, these two rooks, and I'm going to win the exchange, but I'm down a whole piece. So when you see that, you have to, make a decision that may be different, or look for a different type of move because that's probably not the solution. Now, here, this the queen is hanging, so can I just take it with the knight? And see here, what's the idea? Um, Knight takes h7, rook takes h7. Attacking my queen. Then can I just play this queen check? Then the rook goes to g7. Okay, so I'd be up a queen. Oh, okay, because the problem here is that after knight takes h7, rook takes h7, queen to g6 check, rook to g7 now is targeting this square here along with rook, which also could be problematic. So maybe winning material back. So I guess the knight takes h7, rook takes h7. Can I play something like queen takes h7 check, and then after knight takes h7, just take the bishop? What that would that leave me with? That leave me with this knight, this rook, and this against this rook and this rook. So maybe not enough. Knight to the h takes h7. rook to h7. Then do I have, what else do I have? Well, I also have rook to g3 check, actually. Knight takes h7, rook takes h7, rook to g3 check. Now, that seems a little more dangerous because if the king goes to h8, then I get this rook. And if the queen or the king goes to f7, I don't get this rook yet because this knight is protecting it. A tricky position here. Well, queen takes h7 check. Rook takes h7. Hey, that doesn't seem like it does anything. Knight takes g7, rook takes g7. Then I will have a queen and two rooks, or he'll have these pieces. So basically, three minor pieces. Well, maybe two minor pieces for the queen, which could be good for me. Knight takes it. Probably the idea here is rook take after rook takes h7. What do I do? I think rook to g3 check, and then after king to f7, I could just move my king out of the way. For example, to um, f4, and then this bishop doesn't have much time to go anywhere. I could bring my other rook in. So that's the idea. I think knight takes h7 is the first move. Probably the second move. Okay. Now we have rook takes h7, and like I said, rook to g3 is my first candidate, but I am going to take a moment and see if there is anything better here. Rook to g3 check. Of course, rook to g7 is impossible. King to f7. And here, well, here I have to, now I have queen to e6 check. I should just be up material. Then the king goes, say, to e7. And then I can take this. And then I'll have, again, it'll be two pieces for the queen, which should be sufficient. Let's go here first, then here. Okay, now I've got one more move to make. Okay, let's see here. I think I just take. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's a 2300 rated problem. Gained 3 points on it. Let's see, how are we doing on time? I've got 17 minutes left for two more problems. So 2 out of 3, not bad. Let's take a look here now. And here we have another problem where we're kind of, looks like we're hunting down this king. But we also have some back rank issues of our own. So definitely not a easy problem, but that's why we're here, to try to improve upon ourselves, of course. So here. So we've got this check, got this check, and all the checks here. And we have any other non-checking moves that could be effective? Uh, so I think the idea here is if I take this knight, then b1 check, the f2, rook to a rook to d2 check is not available. Well, Well, queen to c2 check. If the king moves up here, we have rook to d3 check, which is unpleasant also. So, oh, part of me is wondering, is there a way to get this check in after the or some right away? Do I have any type of decoy? Like king to h6 check, king takes h6, f5 check. Then, well, at the very least, black can just give the queen. So that doesn't look good either. Here, this circle here. G4 check looks interesting. G4 check, and because if knight takes G4, rook takes H7 is actually checkmate. Oh no, it's not checkmate. Well, it's going to be checkmate because after, or soon, because after knight to H6, queen takes H6 check, G4, then got to be a checkmate. Queen to H4 check. It looks like it's almost can escape, but the rook can come back along here with rook to 7 check too. That has to be good. But G4 check, knight takes G4 should be good for white. So king takes G4. Do I have anything from here now? G4 check, king takes G4, queen H6 just seems too slow because of these checks here. That's the problem with that. Do I have anything with like something slow like H3? Queen to D1 check, king to H2. Then, well, because this queen doesn't have another check. Let's say knight to G4 check, H takes G4 check, king takes G4. Then, again, I don't know if I have anything coming in. Not a tricky position. Queen takes F6, king F2, queen to C2 check, rook to E2. Attacking the queen. And if queen takes C1, do we have anything there? We have at that point, do we have G4 check, for example? King to G4. Oh, this is a tricky one. So now back on queen takes H4. Queen takes H4, queen to D1 check, king to F2, queen to C2 check, king to This is interesting because king to g3, rook to d3 check. Then we have something like bishop to e3. Because the threat is if the threat here that say queen takes c1, queen to h4 is mate. So this might be one of those situations where black cannot get perpetual check, and therefore white will win. Let me look at this one more time. Queen takes f6. That's our first move. Queen to d1 check. By the way, queen to d4 check would be an option, but I think looks like bishop to 3 stops it, and then if queen to d1 check again, king to f2 like before, and now black doesn't really have too many effective checks. If he tries to go, say, queen to c2 check, then you can play that king to g3, and then there's not another check. We are now threatening again this queen to h4. So I think that's the answer. Hopefully we'll be right. Let's see. Okay, so here he's got this check here, and I think I just take it. And okay, that wasn't a little much to do about nothing, but the idea there is that it is safe to take this knight here, and so we're just up material. Okay. All right, one more to go here. Let's see, how much time do we have? We've got 8 minutes and 49 seconds. So we spent a little bit of time there. Let's see if we can finish this off in time. And here, this looks almost, is this just a mating pattern? Rook mating net, rook to f3 check, king to a4, then what? Maybe this is a move where because material is we're down material actually. Instead of the check first, what if we played d5 first? Then if rook takes because so the idea here is this bishop is protecting. So g5, of course, bishop takes, then rook 8 to f3 is checkmate. But if rook to g7 check, bishop takes g7, then bishop takes f2, then do we have anything after as a follow-up? Now, the other question is maybe we just have bishop to maybe we just have bishop to e5 check. Although bishop to e5 check, then let's say king to h3, bishop takes, then bishop takes, and the material looks to be about even. So we need to find a way to win this. So looking at this at the moment, let's look at this rook to f3 check. Okay, king to h4 is forced. Then after g5 blocking it, after bishop to f6 check, g5 blocking it, then we have Could have rook to it's like I'm one move. I just need one extra move, which I don't have. How much time do we have? We got 5 minutes left. Let me take a look here. One thought was, can I get something in first with bishop to bishop to e5 check with king to h3. Then we have rook to f3 check, king to h4, and then we have this rook check first. Yeah, I wish I had a move to get that in, but I don't. Good position though. Good. Let's go back here. Rook to f3 check. King to h4. Then bishop to f6 check. b5. He's got this square. Then what if I bring my rook back here with rook to rook to f4 check. That forces king to, well, could go king to h3 or king to g3. And hard for me to find a follow-up here, because this dark square bishop is being attacked at that point too. So I'm trying to see if there's rook to f3, king to h4, and then rook takes h2 check, then king to king here. Well, rook to f3 check, king to h4, rook to h2 check, king to g5, then bishop to f3 check, king takes g3. Remember, this rook is still on f3 here. Then do we have anything that way? Oh, well, here's another idea. Rook to f3 check, king to h4, g5 check. King takes g5. Then after king takes g5, now bishop to f6 check. But then king to g6 looks troubling too. Well, that's a tough one. Oh, the other option is bishop. Well, no, say bishop to e3 check, but then bishop takes e3. So just having a little trouble here trying to solve this. He has this escape square. The way to take that away with tempo. That is the problem. Rook to f3 check. I'm still going to keep working on this because I think there's got to be a way from this position. Rook to, king to h4. Now, another thought here. What about this going back here? Bishop to e5 check. Then let's say king to h4 again. Rook takes h2 check. Okay. King goes here to g5. And now what? Well, now because my bishop is on 5, I can now play bishop to f4 check. You guys probably saw this already. And um, after king takes g6, this rook comes down here. I think that's the solution. Let me just go through it one more time. Let me clear this out. Rook 8 to f3 check. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, bishop e5 check. And of course, if king 3, rook takes h2 is mate. So king to h4 is forced. Now rook takes h2 check. King to g5 is forced. And now here's the secret: is bishop to f4 check, forcing king takes 6, and then rook takes g6 is checkmate. Let's play it. Good. Checkmate. Okay. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that session. Wasn't perfect on my end, but hope you could see how going through my thoughts is hopefully helpful as you see what ideas I'm thinking about. Uh, and even though they're not maybe the most efficient, it kind of shows you what to look for when you're doing tactics. So let me know what you thought in the comments. Also, I've been mentioning this lately. I have my e-newsletter every 1 or 2 weeks. I put out a message, either some chess tips or some reflections on how to improve at chess. Also, down below, you can check out how to support the channel on Patreon. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.